Good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here tonight. It's hard to believe that it's been 2 years since I first ran for office. At the time, Roe versus Wade had been demolished. Since then, the fight has moved to the states. And while other states are pushing to abolish freedoms, we are trying to protect them. While other states are trying to protect children from books, we are trying to protect them from guns. While other states are restricting voting rights, we're working to expand them. I tell you this because, and it's hard to overstate, the issues before us are more urgent than ever. And that's why I'm running again to be your state representative for the 149th. When I started this journey 2 years ago, my family thought I was nuts. When I told them that I was going to run for re-election, they were certain. But they do know one thing, and it's that once I make a decision, I stick with it. And as many of you know, I'm a triathlete, so I know a thing or two about endurance. 2 years ago, we flipped a historically red seat to blue, and in the process, unseated a Republican incumbent and sent a message that putting a personal agenda and a radical MAGA ideology ahead of working for us wasn't going to work. It was about values. And it turns out much of the district felt the same way because we pulled off a victory that a lot of people thought was impossible. Representing you in Hartford is an honor and a privilege. When I ran last time, I made promises, and so it was important for me to deliver on them. I've worked hard to pass the largest income tax cut in Connecticut's history, to strengthen our gun violence prevention laws, to support and protect reproductive choice, to make the single largest investment in K-12 education, which will go a long way to preparing all our young people for the future, because they are our future. To pass early voting, which started this year, a critical presidential election year, which will make it easier for every citizen to exercise this fundamental right in our democracy. And finally, to secure funding for our district, about $9.5 million to organizations serving our district, as well as funding for school reimbursement projects. I've just characterized early voting as a fundamental freedom. This brings me to another reason we have to keep this seat blue: our democracy. It's hard to believe how fragile it is, how it depends on the goodwill of our elected officials. Unfortunately, it's more at risk now than even 2 years ago. And unfortunately, some in the GOP seem more invested than ever in their fondness for anti-democratic authoritarianism. I wish it weren't true, but it is, and it's here locally and at the state level. And I feel a profound obligation to fight against this, to preserve our freedoms, and I know that you do too. So today, I'm honored to accept your nomination for re-election. Thank you for nominating me, for your kind words of endorsement, and to all of you, really, truly thank you for supporting my candidacy, and especially for your friendship. That has been a bonus that I did not expect when we began, but it's been one of the highlights of the last 2 years. Together, we can keep moving our values forward, working to protect everyone's rights and improve everyone's lives. I'm determined to keep this seat blue, to serve you again to the very best of my ability. And as state representative of the 149th, and with your help, together, I know that we'll do just that in November. Thank you again. I'm Rachel Khanna, and I approve this message.